Imagine being taken from your home, separated from your family, and forced to live in a strange land ruled by people who worship different gods. Imagine having to start life over with no freedom and no certainty of the future. This is the beginning of Daniel's story, a story of courage, loyalty, and unwavering trust in God. Daniel was a young man from Judah when his world changed forever. The armies of Babylon invaded his homeland, destroyed the city, and took many of the young people away to serve in the palace of the Babylonian king. Daniel was one of them. In Babylon, everything was different. The language, the customs, and even the names were changed. Daniel was given a new name and expected to live like a Babylonian. But even though his surroundings changed, his heart did not. Daniel chose to remain faithful to the God he had always worshipped. The king ordered that Daniel and the other young men be given the finest food and wine from the royal table. To most, this would have been a privilege. But Daniel knew that eating the king's food would go against the laws he believed in. Instead of quietly giving in, Daniel respectfully asked the official in charge to let him eat simple foods instead. At first, the official was afraid. He worried that Daniel would become weak and that the king would punish him. But Daniel proposed a test. For 10 days, he and his friends would eat only vegetables and drink water. After the 10 days, their health could be compared to the others who ate the royal food. The test was allowed, and the results were surprising. Daniel and his friends looked healthier and stronger than those who had eaten the rich food. God blessed their faithfulness with strength, knowledge, and wisdom. Daniel continued to grow in understanding and became known for his ability to interpret visions and dreams. One night, King Nebuchadnezzar had a troubling dream that left him frightened. None of the king's wise men could tell him the dream or its meaning. The king grew angry and ordered that all the wise men be punished. When Daniel learned of this, he turned to God in prayer. He asked for understanding, and God answered him. Daniel was given the meaning of the dream, and he went to the king with courage. Standing before the king, Daniel explained that no human wisdom could reveal such secrets, but God could. Daniel told the king the dream and its meaning, explaining how different kingdoms would rise and fall, but that God's kingdom would last forever. The king was amazed and honored Daniel, recognizing the greatness of Daniel's God. Daniel continued to serve in the royal court with honesty and wisdom, but not everyone was pleased. Some officials grew jealous of Daniel's position and plotted against him. They knew they could not find fault in his work, so they decided to use his faith against him. They convinced King Darius to sign a law that for 30 days no one could pray to any god or person except the king. Anyone who disobeyed would be thrown into a den of lions. The law was sealed, and according to the customs of the land, it could not be changed. When Daniel learned of the new law, he did not hide. He returned home, opened his windows toward Jerusalem, and prayed to God as he had always done. The officials caught him and reported him to the king. King Darius was troubled, for he respected Daniel. But the law could not be undone. With a heavy heart, the king ordered that Daniel be thrown into the lion's den. As Daniel was placed inside the den, the king said, "May your God, whom you serve continually, rescue you." A stone was rolled over the entrance, and the night grew silent. The king could not sleep that night. Early in the morning, he rushed to the lion's den and called out to Daniel. To his relief, Daniel answered. God had sent his angel to shut the lions' mouths, and Daniel was unharmed. The king was overjoyed. Daniel was lifted out of the den, and not a single injury was found on him. The king declared that Daniel's God was the true and living God, powerful and faithful. Daniel continued to live with honor and remained faithful to God throughout his life. His story reminds us that faith does not remove challenges, but it gives strength to face them. Daniel chose to trust God in every situation, and God stood with him through every trial. Daniel's life teaches us that courage is not the absence of fear, but the choice to stand firm in faith even when the world stands against you.